What's going on, guys? Chris here with clutter reduction, junk removal, and today we're going to do senior living facility marketing. It is raining outside. It's been raining every day in South Florida a lot for like the last week, and there's actually parts of our county that are completely flooded in the streets and like you can't even drive your car. So I'm hoping that's why it's been a little slow. And today is supposed to be the lighter of the days, so I figure, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do my marketing the best I can. I got my hoodie in case it's just downpouring and I have something to cover me a little bit. But we're gonna go by senior living facilities. I already have my little map, which I'm gonna talk about in a separate video, and I'll be uploading that probably right before this one. But when I like to go to senior living facilities, I like to follow a specific route to try to save time and fuel. And then when I go there, I'm asking for one of two people, either the executive director or the sales manager. And if neither one of them are available, then instead of just giving my cards to the front desk, I like to ask if there's anybody else here that I could speak with that will be able to try to set me up with some sort of position or that can pass it along, because I feel like there's a 50-50 chance that the front desk is actually going to pass my information fully along, and I don't want it to get lost in translation. I want it to actually make it to the person who's going to be able to provide me with work. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time and energy. So right now I have 7 places listed out, and I'm not going to places that I already do stuff at. For that, I like to go to every couple of months just to bring them new cards and kind of just talk to the managers about, you know, ways that I can kind of be a little bit more efficient for them and vice versa. So we're going to go ahead and battle through this rain, and I'll take you along with me as we go inside each building. So stay tuned. All right, so we just got to our first stop. This is what we are handing out. We're trying to drop off flyers and drop off business cards. And this is in fact a new place that I haven't been to before. So we're going to ask if they have a vendor position available. Hi, good morning. How are you? You're welcome. Thank you. Yes. My name is Chris. I'm owner of a local business. I was wondering if your executive director or sales manager was available.
We have no solicitation. What kind of business are you?
Junk removal. So when people move out or...
If you want to leave your card, I will get it to the right person.
Okay.
That's all I can do for you. One card.
Oh, okay.
One card.
Not a problem. Yeah, we work with a lot of facilities throughout
Okay,
Boynton.
maybe 2 cards. So
Okay.
I'll keep it at the front desk too.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yep. Have a good day.
Thank you.
So first one was a rejection. That's nothing new. We've been rejected before. I actually wondered if I have been there before because it looked very familiar. But when she was like, "There's no solicitation here," I wonder if last time if I walked in the moment I just started talking, she said there's no solicitation. I said, okay, just walked out. So that might have been what it was. At least I was able to get at least a couple cards to her. It's situations like that where it's kind of tricky because you don't want to sit there and pursue it and then come off as aggressive because they might just kick you out of the building and like you'll never come back. But I try to at least mention that I work with other senior living facilities and I'm actually looking for a vendor position. Like I had cards in my hand, but my main goal was to try to get a vendor position there, which is why I want to talk to the director because they're the ones who are going to sign me over for that position. So sometimes it doesn't always go according to plan. What I will do though is go on their website and try to find the executive director's email. Sometimes you can find it, sometimes you can't. And I'll directly message them if I can and just introduce myself and then mention the vendor position there. And if anything, I can maybe try to set up a time with them where I can come by and talk to them one-on-one, explain the business, the services, and how I can benefit them, and so on. So that's kind of the alternative. I try to always be as polite as possible. You know, if they can't take it, they can't take it, and you move on. But we just got some gas, so now we're gonna head to the next place, which is on the other side of town, and then we're gonna wrap around and do a big circle. Kind of like what I talked about in the clip that you guys probably will see before this video. So that's the game plan. Let's go on to number 2. I think I've been here before for a move, but not for, ooh, that's a nice little staircase, but not for junk removal. So we'll see how our luck is at this one. Okay, I remember why I couldn't come to this one. It's all gated off all around, like you cannot get in. So we'll try to send them an email again and see if we can get in that way. See, I know there's a reason why like I don't market to some of these places, but it's been so long since I've come to some of these because they're so far away from me. But off to number 3. I was thinking about like the past though, and I thought I'd go ahead and mention something. When I first started the business, like I'm not the most outgoing person, especially in situations like this. So like I dreaded marketing. So when I went to places like, let's say realtors, for example, and I had like 3 or 4 bad experiences in a row, that was a huge demotivator for me. Like it made me not want to market at all. And sometimes I would just stop and go home and be like, you know, I'm just gonna do this again another day. This isn't a good day. And in reality, I just needed to keep going to more and more because the more places you market to, the more opportunities you have to get a yes. So, you know, I try to remember nowadays that I know for a fact that some of these places do need us and do want us to market to them because they want to have that service. And I know that because I'm a vendor at like 5 or 6 senior living facilities. I do constant work at a few apartment buildings. I go to a couple of storage units, like I'm referred there on a constant basis. So I know the service needs to be done. It's just you have to get to those right places. Sometimes they don't know about it, you know, they're just unknowledgeable or they don't care and they just let the residents deal with it. They don't want to have to deal with the services coming in all the time, and I get it. But it's definitely a big hit to your motivation, your confidence when you're constantly getting rejected for something that you think in your head like, oh, this place is gonna love me, like they definitely could use my services, and they're just like, yeah, no, you can't be here, and you get rejected and turned away. So I just tried to remember that like I know for a fact that I'm going to get in somewhere. So if I market to 10 places, even if only 2 of them say yes and the other 8 say no, those 2, the amount of work they're going to potentially bring me is going to outweigh the time, the fuel, and all the trouble I'm having to go to market. So I just try to keep that in mind. All right, so we just came out of the 3rd place. I didn't record it because I had somebody that was sending me a chain of messages and I didn't want the ding to constantly go off in the video. So the executive director was busy. We did get his card though, so I'll go ahead and shoot him an email. The good thing about the front desk is she wasn't super on board with everything until I mentioned that I wanted to be a vendor and work with the building, so whoever I could talk to, because he's in the meeting. And she's like, oh, you want to be able to talk to a sales manager, then it have to be executive director. And in my head, I was like, yes, I'm glad you know. So again, I'm going to shoot him an email. What I like to do is just introduce myself. I'll mention that I stopped by today and I spoke to the front desk and left my card behind so that if he needs to, he can go to her and then get the card. But I'll go ahead and just shoot him a description of what we do, type of services that we often see at senior living facilities, a few examples, and I'll ask if I can come by at a later date, meet him in person, just to kind of go over things on a more of a one-on-one basis. If he wants a price sheet, I can give him one. I do that with the other places as well. So, not a bad experience. It would be nicer just to beat right to the bush, but what are you gonna do? People are busy and they're in meetings. So we're gonna go ahead and head to the next place. I've actually done work here before, but it's been a while. And I wanna see if they have a vendor position available. Last time I think I just handed out cards and they hired me to clean out some stuff that they had just dumped off on the side of their dumpster. So you will see if our former reputation holds up. Morning, how are you?
I'm good.
I was wondering if your executive director or sales manager was available.
And you are?
My name is Chris. I have a local junk removal business. I've done work here before under your maintenance manager, Ronnie. I don't know if Ronnie's still here.
Yeah, he's not here anymore.
Okay.
And you with what company?
Clutter reduction junk removal.
Moving. Do you have any information that you could leave?
Yes, I have cards and flyers if that helps.
Yeah.
And then if I can grab the card, I can email them.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
It would be
Amy Nunn.
Director.
Okay,
and
perfect.
Mary Adams was underneath it, but either one of them is fine.
Okay, perfect.
All right. They're
All right.
at lunch at the moment, so
I don't want to interrupt them.
no.
All right. Well, here's some cards if you're able to just pass them along to them.
Okay.
And then I'll email them as well and try to set up a meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Very good.
Yep. Thank you,
Do
Michelle.
Private homes too?
Sorry?
You do private homes too?
Yep. Yeah. So anytime you have unwanted furniture, or in this case, we work with a lot of buildings throughout Boynton. So when people pass away or move out or downsize, we clean everything out. Sorry?
What do you end up doing with the furniture?
If it can get donated, it gets donated. If it gets recycled, it gets recycled. Otherwise, it gets disposed of. But try to do what we can. All right. Thank you. Have a good day. That's gonna be the last one for today. I keep hitting everyone's lunchtime, which is why I like to go a little bit early in the morning. But it was absolutely just downpouring this morning, so I actually didn't start until like I don't know, probably 10:15 or so. And now it's 12:30, but everyone's on lunch. It's hard to talk to people. So I did get a card. I'll do another email follow-up. So we have 3 email follow-ups to do. And we connected with 3 people. One person said no. And the 4th one was the lady who was like, you can't solicit here, but I'll take a card anyways. So we're going to save the last 2 for another day. And I'll just group that in when I go to do like storage unit marketing or something else. So this kind of flooding we have going on in a lot of parking lots, and I've seen a couple of storage units that are kind of filled up like that too. So that's what happens in Florida when your sea level is so high. When you get enough rain for 2 or 3 days, everything starts flooding because there's nowhere for the water to go. All right, so this is my prompt I use for the senior living facility, and I have one for realtors and property management as well. Super simple and straightforward. I try to keep it as simple as possible. So you're just writing out to whoever your manager is or the executive director, so whoever I was supposed to meet today that wasn't available, and you just introduce yourself and who you are, you know, the background of how you can kind of be a benefit to them. You write out, you know, it's a net. You're introducing yourself and what you do, and that you're going to work to keep things clean and tidy and move in an efficient manner. And then you just sign off your name. But I do like to make a point to try to schedule an appointment. Don't just write this out and let them email you back. Try to set up actually meeting them in person, because if you can meet them in person, you now put a face to the email, and it can help with kind of building a little bit of rapport in the future. So this is what I like to do. I don't know if you're able to screenshot this, but this is a pretty straightforward cookie cutter kind of email. All right, that is it for today. We are going to go ahead and send out these emails, and then I'm going to go ahead and write out my marketing plan for the next couple of days. We have some junk removal jobs coming up this weekend and some move side jobs coming up. And then we have some things planned with the property management later in the month. So we're going to try to tackle marketing as much as possible while things are still a little in between, kind of coming out of the slow season and heading into summer, because I want to make sure that I am as busy as possible, because I really have goals that I want to reach, and I need to be really busy to hit those goals. So that is what we have going on. If I find anything else I think is useful marketing wise, I'll try to push it out there, or things that have worked for me personally. Otherwise, I'm doing all the same stuff you guys are. But that's it for me for now. I will see you guys later on, and thanks for watching. Bye.